What's going on, everybody? Just another day, my daily routine. About to go hit the gym. I figured I'd take the 2J because it's so nice out today. And with winter coming, I'm gonna try to drive this thing as much as I can before it's time to park her and do some work over the winter. So yeah, I'm just heading down to the gym. I'm gonna go take a ride and yeah, see what today brings us. I gotta say, this new tablet is so much nicer than the old one. It's more responsive. I mean, it's just simply newer, so it should be more responsive. But yeah, everything just works and boots up quicker like it should. For some reason, it keeps telling me to buy this app, even though I did buy it, and it keeps me in demo mode, which I don't really care. Everything still works. I just can't log any data logs, which isn't a big deal. I just want to make sure my gauges work, which they do. Yeah, before I got my new car, I was daily driving this like every day, so it got kind of old and I got kind of sick of driving it. So now that I don't drive it as much, I want to drive it more. So that's what we're doing today. See, who says my Jeep doesn't go off-road? Alright, just got done at the gym, had a nice workout. If you guys don't already do it, I encourage you all to go to the gym, get outside, get some physical activity. It's good for the mental health, not to mention physical health too. Yeah, I try to go to the gym every other day. I used to go every day, but then life just got too busy. Make it a part of your day and get to the gym, people. I just feel better leaving the gym. Every time I leave the gym, I could be in the worst mood. When I leave the gym, I feel at least somewhat better than I did going in. I don't know if you can tell on video here, but my steering wheel, man, this thing's seen better days. It's all beat. XJ steering wheels typically get all beat up and worn out after a while. I think instead of getting a steering wheel cover, which is what I would normally do, I'll just get a new steering wheel. I just took the Jeep down the little trail behind my house here, and it honestly really made me want to take this thing off-road more. I don't off-road this Jeep a lot. I actually don't ever off-road it. And I don't know if you can see it, but that's the reason why I don't off-road it. Yeah, that's a crack. And for those of you who don't know, these Jeeps, the Cherokee XJs, the Jeep Cherokee XJ does not have a frame. It's actually a unibody, which means the body and the frame are one, which makes it a unibody. It's cool. I guess it has a lot of benefits, but one big downfall is that this unibody is part of the Jeep. So I can't just go swap a body onto a clean unibody, because that's just not how it works. If this was a frame, I could take the body off the frame and do a frame swap, and it'd be that easy. But unfortunately, that's not the case with these. So obviously with the 2JZ inside this, it would be really freaking cool to take this off-road, sling it in the mud. I personally don't think it would do any good rock climbing. If I were to take this off-road, I would just slide it around and sink it in some mud probably. But yeah, as you just saw, right there, I'll move my finger. That's a big old crack in the unibody. And for obvious reasons, that's why I don't off-road this thing. Now, if it was just a regular old shipbox XJ, I probably would just sent it. But being the condition that this Jeep is in, you know, being a show Jeep and whatnot, I want to hang on to it for a little while without completely folding the thing in half. There's a lot of other reasons why I don't want to off-road this as well, because it's a pain to clean. When you have an engine bay that's this clean, it's a pain to keep clean. You don't really want to get it dirty, especially since this is just a show Jeep. Doesn't really do much action to begin with. So as you can tell underneath here, the steering has been upgraded to 1-ton steering. I'm not sure the brand. Obviously that's a Fox stabilizer shock. But yeah, this Jeep is definitely capable of going off-road, and it would definitely perform well off-road. The only thing I don't like about this lift kit on this particular Jeep are these thin-ass rough country sway bar disconnect end links. So I had these on my other Jeep, and I was coming down the mountain one winter morning and it was a little slippery. I lost control and I had actually bent this sway bar so it folded in a little bit. That's when I found out that these sway bars are no good, because I literally just did like a 360 in the road and that was enough to bend this thing like crazy. If I were to take this thing off-road, I'd probably just take the sway bar off, considering that's what most XJ owners do. Another really good upgrade that this Jeep has, I don't know if you can tell just by looking at it, but that's a Ford 8.8, and obviously that comes with disc brakes versus drums like the factory XJs have. So yeah, this is my factory XJ. This one's got drums, and that's the Chrysler 8 1/4. And this is the Ford 8.8 with the disc conversion. Now I'm almost positive that this particular rear end came out of a Ford Explorer. It was either a Ford Explorer or a Ford Ranger. I'm not really sure. I don't think it matters. I think they're both the same axle, but that's what I got in this Jeep. It's an 8.8. So it definitely has off-road capabilities with the steering setup in the front and the Ford 8.8 in the rear. The lift kit kind of sucks on this Jeep, and I'll show you why. But yeah, normally these shocks on an XJ bolt somewhere up there on the bottom of the floor. So yeah, that's where the factory mounting is for the shocks. For some reason, the guy before me, the previous owner, ran this bar that runs all the way across to either side of the unibody, and you know, did a terrific welding job on that, by the way. Oh, anyway, so that bar is where my shocks are now connected to, are now mounted to at the top, and you can see that one's basically just like falling out. So I gotta fix that too. Just looking at that now, I didn't realize it was that bad. But yeah, that looks pretty gnarly. I don't think that has much life left to it. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna upgrade these shocks, not today obviously, but this whole thing needs to be redone, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep that bar or I'm just gonna figure out another way to mount the top of the shocks. But yeah, that's some crazy shit that goes on with this Jeep. So yeah, just to give you guys an idea on the sketchiness of this Jeep, That's an example of a very sketchy part of this Jeep. This side isn't that bad, but this side, I mean, that's just like falling out. I don't know how that hasn't fallen out yet. We got to fix that, like ASAP. And I could just go on and on about the sketchiness of this Jeep and my excuses for not taking it off-road. Because as you just saw in that little clip that I had, you know, it performs well off-road. I think it really would do good in the mud if you put this in four-wheel drive and just let her eat in a mud pit. I think this thing would perform well. Am I gonna do that? No, not yet. As you just saw, I gotta fix the rear shocks and the unibody, most importantly. I kind of sound like a broken record, because if you've been a part of this channel for a while, I talk about it all the time, and I just haven't done anything about it. There's really no excuse, it's just me being lazy. I just need to bite the bullet and get the stuff done with this Jeep already, because it's been long enough. I feel like primarily there's just been car show videos on this, nothing really crazy yet, and I want to bring you guys good content with this Jeep. But in order to bring the good content, I got to make sure that this Jeep can actually last. It doesn't just break the first time I go take it out on a trail or have fun with it. I'm convinced right now that I'm not going to find a tuner for this. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in a few clips in this video, you could tell where right when it hits about 9.6, 9.8 PSI, just as it's about to hit 10, it cuts out, and it's super annoying. I've been dealing with it for months. I thought it was an issue with my vacuum lines on my electronic boost controller here. So I had all those lines replaced. That wasn't the issue. I've got in contact with a couple of shops around my area, and they tried networking, they tried troubleshooting that issue over the email with me, and it was just a disaster. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any shops right now that are willing to take this in, throw it on a dyno, and see why I'm having boost cut issues, because everything mechanically is sound on it. Everything's good on the Jeep with the engine I'm talking about. We're not talking about the unibody and everything now. So yeah, everything's like fine. Everything is working mechanically fine. I don't know why it just keeps cutting boost at 10 PSI. If you guys know, drop it down in the comments, let me know. Pretty sure it's just a tuning issue, and I gotta get this thing retuned. Whether the spring and the wastegate doesn't match what the vehicle is currently tuned on, I'm not really sure. I really don't know the issue. I'm not that smart in tuning. That's why I want to bring it to a shop and have somebody who knows 2JZs to go through this thing and see why I can't hit full boost. Because it'd be nice to be able to actually drive this thing for once and rev it all the way out and hit full boost. Never been able to do that since I've owned this Jeep. I always just kind of joke that, oh, it's slow, it's a Jeep, it's not gonna, not gonna be that fast. Well, it's pretty fast. It's not that it's not fast, I just don't think that this is actually putting out its full potential to the wheels. There's obviously something going on with the tuning, and it's limiting the boost, which allows me to only hit 10 PSI. It's not that I want to hit more than 10 PSI, it's that as soon as it hits 10 PSI, it cuts the boost off and it just fizzles out, which makes it not fun. Because when you're driving a 2JZ, if you guys know that these are really high revving engines, and I've only been able to rev mine out to about 5 or 6K while it's driving. Now when it's not driving, I could sit here and rev it out all day and redline it. But what's the fun in that? If you guys didn't watch the last video, the stock Cherokee, the project Jeep that I bought my buddy, has a new fuel rail on it, new injectors. Go watch my other videos and watch me just completely go insane trying to fix this thing. Clean the IAC, I changed out the map sensor, did the TPS, cleaned the throttle body, distributor cap, rotor, wires and plugs, and I still couldn't figure it out. So I brought it to a shop and I finally got it figured out. Go check those videos out. But yeah, she's running great. Now we just got to throw the lift kit on, which is a 3.5 inch Rubicon Express lift. It's actually going to sit similar to this Jeep. This is a rough country. I believe it's a 4-inch lift. But from what I just saw you guys in the rear, the shocks are a little wonky. Yeah, I don't think it's actually sitting at 4 inches. But this Jeep's going to be 3.5 inches bigger the next time you see it. It also needs a heater core as well, but I guess we'll worry about that, when the time comes. Because right now we don't need it. It's beautiful out. Just bypass it. But in the winter, we're going to need heat. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you got any comments, drop them down below. Let me know what you guys wanna see. Thank you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.